I thought that this was a really great way to kind of look at it from both directions, because like I said, I can't talk about one side and not the other, because I am here to help you guys become leaders and build leaders. Just like we talk about consistency is key, it's really all about, yes, being consistent in all the things that you do, but also completing that circle, right? So not only is that you figuring out what is consistency looking like to you, what is success looking like to you in your business, what are the things that go great, how can you be better? Maybe you can get better sales next month, get back on track, start sponsoring or continue to sponsor, right? But again, like I said, as you grow, it's doing all those things and adding a piece of leadership on to it at the same time. So that's why it's hard for me to talk about one without the other. So first of all, if you're watching this as a new consultant, first of all, welcome. If we have not officially welcomed you, we try and make it a point in this group to always be welcoming new team members. So as we do that, just remember that feeling of what it feels like when you got welcomed into the group and you want to duplicate that, right? You want to complete the circle. You want the new people coming on to feel that love and community as well. So we're going to be a beacon of light for this when it comes into this when I talk about team culture, because I think that being a welcoming community is something that not only a lot of people look for when they join Scentsy, but also is very much a self-motivator. If you're anything like me, right? Like, I get more motivated when I feel like I'm making a difference, or, oh my gosh, I got a shout out, or this seems silly. I mean, for most people, getting active for the first time isn't a big deal, but to me, it's a huge deal, right? So we want to celebrate all the milestones, no matter how insignificant you might think that they are. Every single milestone in your Scentsy journey is truly that. It is a milestone. And it's a stepping stone that you're either going to learn from, you're going to duplicate it when you have new team members. Hey, Leslie! Duplicate it when you have new team members, and just continue that cycle and that culture and community. Because you guys have probably heard me say it enough that I have met the most amazing people because of Scentsy. I have people who I consider my best friends that I've met because of Scentsy. And it's that sense of community. It's that sense of belonging. It's that sense of welcoming with open arms that we want everybody to experience. And so we want to continue that culture. So be the light, and always be looking for ways to help others and encourage them as well. Hey, Curtis. Good morning. So when we talk about welcoming a new consultant, there should be, and this is more from a sponsoring point of view, but you should have a system. You should have a system for when someone joins your team. Having a system this is what it looks like. It's something that, and if this means writing it down on a piece of paper or a Post-it note or in your planner, whatever you use for your business, right? Writing down the steps, like, what do I do when someone joins my team? And I know for some of you, it may be like, oh my gosh, Jacqui, I've been a consultant for a minute. And I know what to do. Or, oh, I've seen it done. I know what's happening, right? Honestly, you need to write a system for yourself, because not only is that going to help you make sure that you check off each thing every single time you welcome somebody and you're giving everybody the same welcome and onboarding experience, but also that you're not letting anything kind of fall through the cracks. So writing those steps down can be very beneficial, and that is truly what will become your system. And a system is a living and breathing thing. I don't want you to think that just because you do it this way, you've always done it this way, or your sponsor taught you to do it this way, or you learned by watching a video or whatever, right? That is the only way that you'll ever do it. Like, that's just how it is. It should be a living and breathing thing, because it's living and breathing, because not every consultant may or may not start on the same level. So it's living and breathing. So meaning that you can tweak it, you can revise it, you can go back to it, you can redo it, you can add to it, you can subtract it. Maybe it just seems very overwhelming, right? So I'm constantly touching my systems, because I constantly realize that people learn in different ways, that some people, will make it a point to get on those videos and trainings and things like that. Some people are like, it's not my thing. I don't like it. I'd rather just figure it out on my own. Others, everybody learns differently. So, but for example, my system, this is what it looks like when somebody joins my team, when they join me, right? I've sponsored a new person. So what I've done is I use Google Docs, and I go into Google Docs and I create a document that is a welcome to Scentsy email. And in that welcome to Scentsy email, it really kind of taps into a welcome, that they have the opportunity to sign up for Warmer of the Month, reminding them of what Shooting Star is, what Sensational Start is, telling them about the Facebook groups so they have those resources, they can get plugged in, that how to log into the workstation, kind of the chain of command, right? If you have questions, this is what you do. So it kind of looks like that. And when you create it, it saves it in your Google Drive, right? Your Google Drive is hopefully you guys are familiar with that, right? Just like the cloud or whatever you normally use. So if you're working on it, maybe on the computer, on your pad, or on your phone or whatever, and then you go to another device and you pull it up, it will be automatically saved. So it automatically changes everything and updates everything in real time. Again, it's living and breathing. So again, if I'm in here working and for whatever reason now I got to go run errands, and then somebody joins my team and I'm out running errands and I happen to check my email and I'm like, oh my gosh, I got a new team member. Yay, this is fantastic. Instead of going, oh, Jacqui, remind yourself when you get home to send them that welcome letter. Hello. Anybody else have squirrel issues? I do. And then it's like midnight when I'm laying in bed and I'll be like, oh crap, I was going to send that email. Okay, that's what happened. So it's just truth. So in order to keep myself from doing that or having those situations arise, I just downloaded the Google Doc app to my phone. So that way, maybe I'm at the grocery store and it's later on in the day or the afternoon, and now I got an email because I'm waiting in line because it's a long line, and I look in to check my email and oh my gosh, somebody joined my team. That's fantastic. All I have to do is open up my Google Docs, and then I can go into my Google Docs. I can find, because I've got multiples for all different occasions, right? Set up, because this is part of my systems. So that way, all I have to do is go to, if it's somebody that I personally sponsored, I have a personally sponsored email, hello and happy join day. And then it goes through everything. All I have to do is double tap and then drag, see, and I can go all the way down and then copy. And then I can go back to my email, pull up my email app, compose my email, go over there. Can you see that? Click, and I'm just going to paste. Obviously it's not gonna paste the whole thing. I don't think I even copied it. Maybe I didn't even copy it. Anyway, you get the point, right? So tap and paste, boom. And it's something I can do and at least get that done. So as a sponsor, when you're bringing somebody on, I'm gonna encourage you guys to use this or something similar. Whatever works for you, whatever floats your boat. But really refining that welcome email, you don't want to, like Heather was talking about, right? Like, sometimes it can come out as word vomit. And so I've tweaked that living document over time, right? Like I was like, oh, it's too much information. Just let's get rid of that paragraph. I'll talk about that later with them or whatever, right? you may need to do back and forth with it, or maybe I don't include enough. Maybe they don't, I didn't tell them where to look to watch for their starter kit coming. I didn't tell them to go to their orders tab, and that's how they'll know that they can go there and they'll see when their starter kit is going to arrive, right? Maybe I need to add that in. So you can tweak it, you can learn from it and use it. So that's from a sponsoring point of view. For a new consultant, if you're just joining, then hopefully we as leaders are putting things in place like that. But at the end of the day, and I'm going to tell you something that is, I don't want to say harsh, but it is cold, hard truth, right? That I learned the hard way, is that your sponsor is not solely responsible for you and your training. That's a hard truth, right? And maybe as a sponsor, you're like, I'm not responsible. Okay. There's various levels of that, right? Yes. As a sponsor, we hope that everybody is able to get everybody's questions answered and do all the things. But let's live in reality for a moment and realize that we all have different schedules and different lives. Some of us have the younger ones, the beautiful, beautiful babies, right? They don't sometimes play to a schedule. So how can your business work around that? Well, you have different ways of working around that. Some of you may have a full-time job, a part-time job, a job that works overnight during the day, right? So everybody's learning differently. Everybody's coming on differently. And so I don't want you to hold yourself to the fire if you've had someone join your team and you're like, gosh, I haven't even done that whole system thing. I don't know what I'm doing. That's okay. We got you. We got you. Because here's the really great thing when you're not only a part of this team, but, hopefully that you kind of take this with you and run with it, is the fact that we are here to build leaders. We want this culture to realize that when you're joining, it's not rocket science to figure all of this out. All you need to do is take the pieces that are going to work for you and run with them. So if you're a more visual learner and videos are your jam, well, then you're totally in the right place, because I know between myself and Marielle, who's building up a very large portfolio, and some of you others on here as well, is that there are plenty of videos on YouTube that you can YouTube different things. You have access to not only the workstation, which has the news tab and all of that, so you can get caught up on what's happening or what's coming, but we've got the training section. So when you're on your website, you look for the little graduation hat, like back in school, look for that. It says training, click on that. And honestly, you have access to thousands of training documents and materials. And Heather's right? When you sponsor somebody, this may not be your first person. This may be your third person this month. Yay! Or it's your 20th team member and you're like, oh my gosh, I got so much going on. I got this and this and this, and now I forget to do this. Having those systems in place are going to help you. And as you are a new consultant, it really all comes down to training yourself. How, and figuring out, here's again, another harsh truth that is not harsh, but not meant to be, is that we're joining as independent business owners. And for every single one of us, this looks a little bit different. This is my full-time job, right? So this is my full-time business. This is what gets the attention from me. Now, back when I was still working in my corporate world, right? That was obviously a priority for me. And then it was, oh crap, how do I fit in my business after this, right? What do I do? How do I do these things? And let me tell you guys that as I was building my team and working 40, 50, 60 hours some weeks at my job, that those Google Docs and those systems in place were lifesavers. Because not only did I have a team that I was trying to build, I wanted to be a leader, I was trying to hit director, and my team was growing, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm finding it hard to keep up, because by the end of the day, when I get home from work, the last thing I want to do is look at a computer. I know some of you guys can feel that. So setting up your systems and what is going to work for you around your life and what you want out of this business is going to work best. The first 70 days for a new consultant are the how do I want to say this? Because I don't want to say that they're the most important, because if you guys know my story, right, I didn't start off like wonderful and out the gate running, right? I didn't earn shooting star. I didn't earn sensational start. I don't even remember if I even got active the first 1, 2, 3 months, whatever, that I was with Scentsy. I honestly don't remember. That does not mean, though, that just because you don't have that wham bam amazing start, that you're not cut out for this business. Total opposite. Because what we put into this business is what we get out of this business. Yes, Heather. Sponsors are mentors, not bosses. That makes my heart happy. Because, we're not here to do the job for you. And I can tell you from experience, and I know a lot of you have felt this way too over the years, is that maybe you have somebody join your team and you're super excited because you're focused, right? You're in the mindset of, I'm building my business. I want to get to here. I'm going to promote here next. Then I'm going to get to director, and then I'm going to get to star director, and then I'm going to get to superstar director, and I'm going to be able to retire my husband, and this is going to be amazing for my family. And oh my gosh, right? All the things. Sometimes we can get caught up in that, and yeah, maybe our new team member is not that person. They're like, hey, I am just here to see things when they come out, buy my Scentsy when I want, and that is it. Doesn't mean they're going to stay that way forever. They can always change. Everything's living and breathing, right? It's living and breathing. But during the first 70 days as a consultant, not only do you need to be figuring out what it is you want from this business, but as the sponsor, it is helping them figure out what they want from this business and having just some touch points in place, going back to systems, right? I've started utilizing the program Project Broadcast. I'm still not, I was talking with the directors earlier this week or over the weekend. I'm not necessarily like married to this concept yet. It is that texting program. If this will help me be a better sponsor, because here I am, right? I've been in Scentsy since 2012. I am a star director. We have right at almost 300 people in this group right now. And we're in hyper growth. And not only that, but are we in the biggest season of the year for Scentsy historically? But let's just talk about hello, because we're in hyper growth. It's like on steroids right now. I want to make sure that I'm still, again, right? It's that circle, still making sure that I'm giving my new team members all the resources that I can. How can I make sure that they get off in the same start? And how do I make sure that I don't word vomit all over them? And how do I make sure that all that gets done? So utilizing this is a way for me to complete those touch points. So I've got it set up on certain days within their first 70 days. It's kind of like a drip campaign, if you guys are familiar with that, right? So it's set to go out on certain dates all the way until their 70th day. So hopefully that is helping my personal team members get into the flow of what's there, what's available, what can they do. Me as a sponsor, that's also me setting up a system to make sure that those are getting done. So for you, that system may look like your planner or your notebook, or you use your workstation, or you use the Amy app. I revamped it, so now I'm testing out a new digital way to keep track of everything. And so I'm trying to just try different systems. So don't think that these systems will ever stop needing help or needing to be changed, or depending on what your life and work schedule looks like, right? You may need to refine those. But we want to make sure that we're checking in with our new consultants, and we need to be helping them remember their why. Why did they join this business? What is it they're wanting out of Scentsy? you as a sponsor figuring out what's going to work for your frontline, and you as a new consultant realizing that you don't have to just do this one way. This is not a one-size-fits-all business. This business can be worked 100 different ways by 100 different people. I've probably tried a good number of all those ways. Good to know information. So now I'm going to cover some GTK, good to know, GTK, good to know information. As a new consultant, maybe you didn't know this. Hopefully you do. And for those of you who are sponsoring new people, you can make sure that they know these things. Okay, commission and pay. Who doesn't want to get paid, right? That's one of the top reasons, if not the top reason probably, of why people are doing Scentsy. Show me the money. Every month we are earning commission, and we get paid once a month. We get paid on the 10th of the month for the previous month. So to break that down a little bit easier, today is September 29th. Tomorrow's the end of the month. Today is September 29th, right? Everything that you're doing from September 1st all the way until midnight at Mountain Time on September 30th is what you're going to be paid on. That is what is going to determine your paycheck. So your paycheck is based on your personal sales, and if you have a team, any of your team bonuses. Refer to the compensation plan, pick up any catalog, look on your workstation, type in the search bar compensation. It will pop it up for you. There's lots of trainings on it. I've got trainings on my YouTube. You can use that Google machine. You can do whatever you need to do, but you can look at that to really figure out your compensation if you've got team members. But for the most part, we are getting paid off of our personal sales, our PRV. Now, when you first join Scentsy, you join starting at 20% commission on those sales for that entire month. Now, here's where you get, and what we encourage everybody to get to, is to certified. That's your first official promotion, is to certified. And certified is 1,000 cumulative PRV. What does that mean? And that means maybe you joined in May, and maybe in May you did like $100, and then maybe in June, so your PRV for May was $100, and then in June you had a really great month and you did like $400 in sales, and you were like, oh my gosh. Okay, so that's your June sales, right? And that's how you are getting paid in June. But every month, that cumulative PRV is just adding up. When we say congratulations on your first pay raise, that means just that. That means you go from earning 20% commission to 25% commission on your personal sales, or PRV. That's awesome. One other thing to think about as well is every single month, Scentsy offers a monthly sales award. Now, this is not restricted to only the top 5,000 people get this award. No, this award is for everyone. When you get to 2,000, and I'm talking all in US dollars, so our Canadian team will definitely fill us in on what that looks like in Canadian. But for US, if you have 2,000 PRV in 1 month, then you automatically earn the Scentsy monthly sales award. The monthly sales award. I know, Trina Spencer just hit it. Yay! And what does that mean for Trina? That means whenever you hit 2,000, you can do this every single month, people, too. Whenever you hit 2,000 or more, you automatically get paid an extra 5% commission. So that takes your commission, even if you just join this month, if you have at least 2,000, that means you've already done your first 1,000 to get to certified. So that means you've already hit certified. But now you're going to actually get paid 30% commission on your sales for the month. So let's say you end up at a straight 2,000. What does 30% of 2,000 mean? That means you're getting a $600 paycheck. Please see the income disclosure. Results not typical. So that is something that you can earn every single month, as many months as you want to earn it. How amazing is that? Scentsy doesn't cap it off. It doesn't matter if there's all 233,000 consultants have earned that monthly sales award. Every single one of those consultants gets that extra 5%, and you get a little award in the mail, and you get a pin or a charm depending on what you've chosen in your account tab, and you get to start collecting those. That sound good? Sounds good to me. Sounds good to me. How do you get paid? You actually receive a pay card. It will come in the mail to you. It will be mailed to you. And that pay card is actually a Visa card. It is a Visa prepaid card. So the only way to add to it is Scentsy adding to it. You cannot, there's no website or in your workstation, there's nothing you can go to where you can be like, oh, I want to put money on my pay card. It's not that kind of a card. Think of it like a debit card that your employer gave you. This is how we're going to deposit your paycheck instead of giving you a paper check. Same thing with Scentsy. This is how we're going to pay you your commission and any bonuses monetarily that you might earn over the years for an incentive, things like that. That's what we're going to put money on. They don't ever give you money in a check form. They don't say, hey, what's your debit card number or whatever, right? They don't do that. That's not how you get paid. You will receive your official Scentsy website free for the first 90 days. This is huge, right? Afterwards, it is only $10 a month. I will encourage everybody to say that your best business investment ever will be your website. Why? Because sometimes Scentsy offers pre-orders or limited time offers on things that you can only go to somebody's website and purchase them through. That is also the only way, unless somebody reinstates, that is the only way someone can join your team. So that $10 a month is doing you a huge favor. If you invest nothing in your business, invest $10 in your business so you have a website. My best advice. In that account tab, please make sure that your phone number and your address and your email are current. So if you're somebody who changes or uses different emails for different things, and maybe you don't check that email as often, make sure whatever email is listed in your account tab of your workstation is the email that you check the most, because that's where any communication from Scentsy is going to come from. That's where they're going to, email you about anything coming out or that you need to know. It's also what we as your upline and as your leaders are going to use to communicate with you. So if it's something you don't use, like you listed your landline and you're like, oh, but I don't really use my landline. I just didn't want to put my cell phone on there. Well, that's all fine and dandy until your leaders or Scentsy wants to give you a call and they're like, I can never get through to this person. Same thing with your address. So make sure if you've moved or when you do move, anything, a phone number changes, an email address changes, that you're updating that, because that's where correspondence is going to come from, either Scentsy or your upline or your sponsor. That's where we're going to get it. So make sure it's current. And in talking about that, there is a chain of command. So we kind of like to have you go to your sponsor if you have a question. And if they're unable to help, or maybe they can't help, they've got the day job, right? And you're like, oh my gosh, it's an emergency. You can always go to if you've got an upline director, if Lisa, Emma, or Coley are your director, then go to them. I'm your STAR director. You can always come to me. If you can't find it, go to your workstation, look on your workstation, use that search bar. You've got the Facebook groups. You can go to the Facebook groups. Again, use the search bar. That's usually the quickest way. Unless you can remember, oh, I remember so-and-so posted it. I'll look for that post or whatever. But that search bar in the Facebook groups and on the workstation will save you a ton of time. Let me just say that from experience. It will save you a ton of time. And when in doubt, YouTube or use the Google machine. So many ways that you have to get information. Trust me, you can get it. The whole point is we don't want you relying directly on your sponsor for everything. You are an independent Scentsy consultant, right? So you're your own business owner. So we want to empower you to know where to go for those resources. It doesn't mean that we don't want to have to answer your questions. That is far from it. But what we want is for you to be somewhat self-sufficient in learning where to go when you need something, because not only is that going to help you be a better consultant, but it's also going to help you when you're finishing that circle, right? When you're adding new team members and they're going to have questions, you're going to know, oh, I remember when I had that question, this is where I went to find that information. Or, oh, I figured out where that was. It's in the workstation under blah, 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 blah. You're setting yourself up for success and being not only a good consultant, but a good leader. We're building leaders here, people. We're building leaders. But it helps. And again, your sponsor, like we said in the beginning, right? Your sponsor is not solely responsible for your training. You are truly in the driver's seat when it comes to your business. So I can tell you from experience that you cannot say, my business is going to fail because my sponsor never talks to me. First of all, I know, because if you're watching this, mainly this will probably be on YouTube, but if you're watching this in the group, I'm your star director and I know who your directors are. And we've got amazing leaders here and lead consultants and star consultants and superstar consultants who, trust me, have done all the things that you're going through, and we're all willing to help. We're all willing to help. And so we're willing to help you guys to become the best you can be and to be the best leader that you can be. That's what we're really striving for. And hello, we're watching it right now. This is Team Tuesday Training, Triple T. It happens every single Tuesday. I come live. Sometimes I also will stream to YouTube at the same time. Or I may upload it to YouTube later, because yes, there are people who are way smarter than Jacqui, but no, I do have to have Facebook. But they don't have Facebook, or they don't utilize Facebook, so I want to make sure that they get their information on our team. And I'm just an advocate for knowledge is for everyone, not just for the few. So I like being able to share information with any consultant anywhere, right? There's room for all of us to shine. There's no reason to hoard your knowledge. So you are here, though. We have this weekly Tuesday spot, Taco Tuesday. Yeah, I love my tacos. We also currently on Scented Bliss are doing our weekly happy hours on Sunday evenings. Join us. You're more than welcome to join us in that Zoom. If you need help finding that link, let me know. We also have regular meetings as per your upline, so ask if you're unsure. So again, the directors or your sponsor, if they're not a director, they may even be trying to help, right? They're setting up trainings and doing these things, whether they have a team page or a YouTube channel or whatever it is, right? All of us do these things to help you and to help others. So utilize the resources that they're putting out there. If your sponsor is not a director, but they're like, oh my gosh, I'm creating all this content because I'm building a team, right? They're like, I'm a leader. They're doing the thing. And so you may want to reach out to them and be like, hey, do you have anywhere that you do trainings or do your stuff? If they haven't already told you. If not, ask your next in chain of command, right? That would be your director. So that may be Lisa, Emma, or Coley right now. Reach out to your directors and ask them. If you don't have a director, then I would be your director. And I'm also the star director. So I'm here too, right? You can ask me, and I have monthly trainings and this weekly training. So ask if you're unsure if there's a training schedule, but hopefully we've gotten you in the loop. Support. This is a tribe culture. I know I've already talked about it, but I'm saying it again. We build leaders here, people. Communication. Let me just tell you that leaders and your sponsors, we do not have magical mind reading capabilities. So if you're sitting on your phone at night going, oh, I wish my sponsor would like reach out to me or tell me what I need to be doing, or I just don't know what to do about this whole Facebook party thing. We can't read minds. We need We need you to reach out when you have questions, and there is no silly question. Don't think that you're like, oh, they've probably heard this question a million times. I'm too embarrassed to ask this. Ask the question, because in my eyes, the way that I look and the way that I am building my leaders and building all of you is telling you that if you're not asking questions, you're not learning. Because let me tell you, in order to learn, you have to ask questions. You have to. Just like you have to fail to fall forward, you have to ask questions to learn. So there's never a silly question. Trust me, we've all been there. We all started out day one, 5 minutes after we hit that join button and completed our registration. And then we were like, now what? Okay, we've all been there. So you're not going to hurt our feelings or anything like that by asking us. Just don't go radio silent. That's the one thing that you should never do. Don't go radio silent. Because let me tell you again, not only do we have this community and this culture here for us, but we also have all these resources. And trust me when I say that your leaders, your sponsors, we want you to succeed. We want you to succeed because there is room for all of us to make this business be what we want it to be. And letting your sponsor or your upline or whoever it is that you're working with, right? Let them know what your communication preference is. We want to make sure that we're doing what's best for you and that you've got what is working for us as well, so we can communicate clearly. It's a two-way street, right? We have to know. And sharing. So as a community, focus on how you can serve your community. Sharing what you're doing, including new tips, a fun trick, all of this stuff, right? You will see me, and if you've messaged me or texted me, oh my gosh, this is what I did. And if I tell you, oh my gosh, this is amazing, you should share this in the group, it's not just because I'm like, oh, yeah, we just want stuff posted there. No, it's because it's really good content. You guys are amazing when it comes to figuring out a new way to do things or doing it for the first time, and now you want to share it with somebody, or you've created the cutest mail outs and you want to share those. Whatever it is, sharing it in the group, knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. And one thing that I will say too is, and I don't even remember who the quote is from, but it's never be the smartest person in the room. If you are the smartest person in the room, you need to leave that room and go find another one. You should not know everything. And if you do, you need to go to the next room where you can learn more, right? Because remember, we're not building our business unless we're learning and asking questions and leaning into it. We have to fail to fall forward. We have to ask questions to learn. So hopefully that has kind of given you the scope from both being a new consultant, just joining again, welcome. And second of all, as you are sponsoring, reminding yourself that these are things that new consultants want and need to know. So if you need to tweak your system or your process, or you don't have one yet, then hopefully this has maybe sparked some ideas on what you need to do to either create a document, create a Google Doc, and create a team page. If you don't have a team page and you're starting to build a team, have one to where you can share information and knowledge and get to know your team members, and being active in your sponsor, director, upline groups, because that's where you're really going to get the most benefit. Because for one, you're going to learn from amazing like-minded people, and for two, we're building leaders here, and you're going to be a leader, and you want to be the best leader you can be. I know you do. So otherwise you wouldn't be watching this video. All right, that's what I got for today, people. It's hoodie weather. It's Tuesday. Tomorrow is the official last day of the month. Can we just sit down and reflect in awe about this for a second? Because we are having the greatest flipping month we've ever had. Yeah, that's crazy looking. Oh well. I got online learning to do. So tomorrow is month end. I'm going to have to take an allergy pill or close the windows. I think I need to close the windows. I apologize. we're going to be doing a month-end live, and then make sure also, just a reminder, again, we're talking about new consultants too, right? So for those of us who know about it, but those of you who are newer, Heidi and Orville, who are the CEOs of the company, they go live on the end of month. So watch for that. We usually share that link in the groups. So watch the groups. That way you can make sure that you see that. And if you happen to miss it, then you can always catch the replay. But it's really fun because normally they will not only cheer us on, give shout outs, right? They'll be, they'll tell you to put it in the chat, what did you accomplish this month, right? And they will shout you out. It is so amazing and fulfilling to be shouted out like that in such a public way. It's really, really a cool experience. So definitely get on there. And it helps you connect with Heidi and Orville. And if you haven't had that opportunity yet, then trust me, when you do, you're going to know what I'm talking about. So definitely watch for them. And they always like to tease us most of the time with something that's coming. So that's always fun, right? It's always fun to get a spoiler alert.